Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Scott here. It's been a little bit since I've done a video. So I thought what I'd do today is kind of show you a little bit of what I do, describe just a little bit. This is mainly a pen video, so I'll describe the type of pens that I make and the materials that I use to make the pens. And, you know, kind of some of the differences between each one and each writing style and everything. So let's kick this off real quick and just say welcome. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the content, like the content. And let's get started. So in the Wooden Nickel Workshop, main thing that I enjoy doing is writing instruments. So first thing we're going to talk about is the different types of instruments that we make here. And of course the first one that I do in the list is a pencil. Everybody likes a good pencil. This is a good quality pencil. This is our Stratus line, this one here. The acrylic resin body. I do custom pour on that. This particular model has a nice thick 2mm lead, so it's nice, real nice and sturdy. Of course, it has an eraser up in the cap there as well. And these do come in sets, which takes us to our next type of writing instrument, which is a ballpoint pen. This is the ballpoint pen. It matches the pencil, pen and pencil set. Now, what is a ballpoint pen? Okay, there's two different types of, I wouldn't call them both ballpoints, but different types of pens that you have an ink cylinder with a ball at the end of it, and the ink rolls onto the ball, and that's you write on the paper. So the first type, of course, is a ballpoint pen. The other type is a roller ball, and we'll get to the roller balls here in a minute. But what's the difference between a ballpoint and a roller ball? Let me kind of show you. They look very similar. This is one of the roller balls, and we'll get back to the roller ball here in a minute. But the ballpoint usually writes with a thinner line than a roller ball. The ballpoint writes with a thinner line, and you can usually purchase that in like a fine or a medium point. You may feel, as you're writing with a ballpoint pen, you may feel that it's a little scratchier on the paper. The ink itself is a thicker, more viscous ink than a rollerball ink. A rollerball ink is going to be more of a liquid or a gel type. But your ballpoint pens are going to be typically more economical. Like I said, this is a regular ballpoint. And let me show you. I have a couple of different styles. That's a single body. This is a ballpoint pen here as well. This is a single body. Then I have some of the thinner, slimmer ones. This actually has a two-piece body on it with a nice chrome center band. And then, of course, this one has a wood variety. Also two pieces, a slimmer. With the ballpoints that we make here, they are all completely, totally refillable. There's two different styles, if you will, of refills for these pens. Let me first style, of course, is a Parker style refill that just slides into the body of the pen. I've taken this one apart. Here I can show you. This one comes apart, and you slide the refill into the bottom section, and it screws in to that. This just pushes back on like that. Completely refillable. The other style is a cross style refill. This is a cross style. The main difference with the cross style is a lot of them will have a spring, of course, spring, and that just sets down into the bottom. Oh, lost the spring, went in sideways. Redo that there. And then this would then again screw onto just like that. Now these are both twist style pins. This one here and these two, they are twist styles. This particular one that I showed you was a pen and pencil set. This is a click style pin. You push the end and you get a click style pin out of that. So that's what's considered a ballpoint pen. The next pen we have is a roller ball. Like I said, roller balls and ballpoints are similar to the fact that you have an ink cartridge with a ball at the end of it, then the ink flows down and rolls over the ball, and that's what you write on your paper with. The roller ball is going to give you a thicker, more pronounced, more vivid line, and this is a roller ball style, and I'm not sure if you can. The lighting is terrible. It's one of the things I'm working on is my lighting here. This is actually a beautiful roller ball here. Roller balls are also going to give you a nice, smoother line. They're going to be a lot smoother to write with on your paper. Makes the writing a lot easier. You don't have to exert as much effort with a roller ball, either a gel or a liquid. Ink. Gel or liquid ink can be used with the roller ball. With the gel, a lot of times you'll have a deeper pigmentation of the ink, which will give you a greater range of colors if you like writing in colors. And of course this, with the roller ball, this one here, of course, is also refillable. This is a Schmidt ceramic roller ball. The ball is a ceramic on that. That screws back in there. There's also a spring in the end of that kind of helps push the roller ball down where it needs to be. Lid screws back on. It's really nice. Now there are some issues, some problems with the roller balls. Because it is a liquid, ink, you really need a better quality paper. If you have a poor quality or a lower quality paper, what you're going to run into is a greater possibility of your ink bleeding, or you'll see kind of as you write, your ink will kind of spread a little bit onto your paper if it is a lower quality. Think about writing on like a napkin or something like that, where once you hit that with the ink, you see the ink run. Another problem is with the roller ball, with the liquid ink, and also with the gel ink. Because it is a thinner viscosity, it tends to run the risk of smearing if you don't let it dry. And it doesn't take a long time for it to dry. And that's the one thing that I've noticed good about the Schmidt that we use, the Schmidt inks. They dry almost instantly. You can write with that, rub your hand over it, and there's no smear whatsoever. So they're really, really good inks. So the next pen we make, this is one that I'm actually getting more fond of every time I make it, because you can be so creative and it makes a beautiful, a lot more elegant. It is a lot of fun, actually. And I'm seeing a big resurgence in people using these as well. What I'm talking about is the fountain pen. This is a beautiful style of fountain pen here. This cap is postable, which means that cap goes on the end. It's non-postable, of course. It doesn't have the threads on the end. You just lay the cap on the table. For those of you that are not familiar with fountain pens, it's a pretty simple design. You have your nib in your nib section. This comes out, and you can use one of a variety of things in here. You can use a cartridge, which just snaps into the end of the nib, or you can use a converter that also snaps into the back of the nib. The converter is pretty simple. It is a piston style ink delivery system. If you're into using bottled inks instead of the cartridge style inks, bottled inks or inkwells, what you would do would be stick this down into the tip of this down into the ink, and then as you twist the top section here, the piston pulls up and it pulls the ink up into the well here as well, and then you snap that into the end of your nib, and that screws back into the body. Then you have your body, of course, and your cap. Some of the things about a fountain pen, you want to take your time. Again, you want to have a nice, good quality paper so your ink doesn't bleed. Take your time when you're writing. Write for enjoyment. Write for pleasure. A lot of times, you really don't want to use a lot of pressure at all, because the ink will flow really well normally through the nib. You want to take your time. A lot of people say that they have better penmanship when they use a fountain pen, but it's more relaxed. It's more enjoyable writing with a fountain pen. The next line of pens are kind of a novelty style pen. I don't do a lot of novelty type pens, but the ones that I do are normally requests. But I have, this is a firefighter pen, and you can tell that the clip there is the ladder. It has the shield, and the top section is the helmet. There's a firefighter engraving around the cap there, and it's made to look like a hose and a hose coupler, and it clicks in and twists and snaps together like a hose, and that's how the action of the pen comes in. This is a custom acrylic pour that I did for this one, and then this is a chrome one that I have in a Bacote wood. Another novelty style pen that I have. This is a .30 caliber replica, bolt action. So the bolt action here is what activates the pen, and then of course you lift that out to pull the pen back. A lot of times with the novelty pens, especially the ones that I have, is the novelty aspect of them is how the ink is, or the ink cartridge or whatever is projected to where you can write with it. So, excuse me. So you noticed I've showed you a variety of writing instruments with different types of materials. So I want to talk about some of the materials that I can use, or that I do use in making these pens. And they can be anything from, I've said wood or acrylic, and therefore on and on. But I'm going to show you a few of the items, and actually some of the specialty items as well, some of the things that we have. So first of all, with wood, Like I showed you, this one here is a complete wood. This is actually a part of a bourbon barrel that I had turned. But wood can be anything from this beautiful grain Cocobolo wood. This gorgeous grain on this Cocobolo. This is a piece of Amboina burl. Amboina is a wood that is native to like Central and South America, I believe. I'm not really sure. I believe it's Asia. I'm sorry. I believe it's native to Southeast Asia or Southern Asia. Don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure, but I believe it's an Asian type of wood. It's prominent in that area. And I mentioned burl, and you're like, a lot of people aren't really sure what a burl is. So I did look this up so I would make sure that I did get it correct. So a burl is a tree growth in which the grain has grown in a disformed manner. Usually found on the trunk or at the base of the tree, and sometimes underground in the form of a rounded outgrowth caused by some kind of stress, such as an injury to the tree, virus or fungus, or an insect infestation, something like that, or a mold growth. But if you'll notice the difference, see the nice grain pattern on this Cocobolo, and then this burl has a kind of a willy-nilly, if you will. Here's another one. This is a cherry burl, and this is actually shows some of the edge of that. Then another type of material that I use is acrylics. This is a type of acrylic. Think not exactly a plastic, but along that lines, more of an acrylic. This is a nice red, white, and blue type here. Again, a nice red, white, and blue. I can do custom colors. I do pour, I use an epoxy resin. Usually takes a few days up to a week for that to fully cure and be ready to turn. So it takes a little bit of time, but I can do some custom work, custom colors. Like I had said before, this is one of my custom colors. It's kind of a little bit of yellow and burnt red and orange. Excuse me. This is another, really needing to work on my lighting here a little bit. This has some yellow and some turquoise and red and some nice colors in it. The next type of material that we can use is what's called a hybrid. Now, a hybrid can be a mix of wood, acrylic. It can be a mix of anything. It can be as simple as a nice piece of wood and then acrylic or resin poured over and or around it, like that. It can be embedded objects. Like here's one with some coffee beans embedded in it. Here's a nice blank with some pine cone embedded in it. There's one that I finished. This is a beautiful, beautiful pin here that has a cholla cactus stem that's embedded in that. Put it in a mold and pour acrylic around that different colors. So you can really get creative with things. I've seen people do acorn shells or acorn caps, sweet gum pods, Banksia pods, walnut shells, pecan shells. I've seen people do a lot of interesting things with hybrids. The next type of material is a specialty material that I get in. It's called a diamond cast. And these are some examples of diamond cast. And I know this isn't going to show up really well in this video. This is a purple color, purple and blue. This is a black and blue and silver. But I'm going to try to get as close as I can. You notice there's a lot of sparkle in that. And what that is there actually is gem quality diamonds embedded into that that resin when it's poured. So when that's turned and it really shines up beautifully, you could say your pen is full of diamonds because it's gem quality diamond fragments and dust and everything in that. So it makes a beautiful pen. Another style of pen that I do is called a label cast. And a label cast is basically what it says. I take the body of the pen and I put an image inside. It could be your favorite character or sports team, your company logo, your name. If you have a really elegant name, a family photo, a picture. I've done some family photos. I've done pictures of pets. So that just kind of gives you an idea of some of the things that we do here in the shop. So if you're interested in a high quality, heirloom quality writing instrument, feel free to give me a message, or you can get a hold of me at woodennickelworkshop@gmail.com. Send me an email. We'll start a conversation. I can create something custom just for you. And something you'll be proud of, something you'll cherish and use for years and years and years to come. So thank you for joining me in this video. Thank you for joining me out in the shop today. Not doing any work. I have some other videos coming up where I'm going to be actually showing you what I do, making some pins and everything. So join me back out into the shop when you can. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, and hit that little bell down there, and you'll be notified when I put out more videos. Again, thanks for joining me in the shop today. God bless, take care, and we'll see you later.